India Post-Independence Reminiscence and Political Thoughts, letter number 22. Dear friends and sisters, I talk to His Manak Chand Sanghi, Bangalore, Karnataka State. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee is a statesman of India who had served as the 10th Prime Minister of India for 13 days in 1996, as 13th Prime Minister for 13 months from 1998 to 1999, and then from 1999 to 2004 for a full 5-year term. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee is a parliamentarian for over 4 decades. He was elected to the Lok Sabha 9 times and twice to the Rajya Sabha. He is the only parliamentarian to have been elected from 4 different states at 4 different times, namely UP, MP, Gujarat and Delhi. He won his first election from Balrampur and later he moved to Lucknow, UP until 2009. Then he retired from active politics due to health reasons. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was one amongst the founder members of erstwhile Jan Sangh political party and was the president. He was also the Minister of External Affairs in the cabinet of Shri Morarji Desai government. When the Janata Party government collapsed, he renamed his former political party Jan Sangh till new party formed as Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. It is known that he became a full-time worker of the Hindu organization Rashtra Swayam Sevak Sangh, RSS. Shri Atal ji studied law, but he chose to become a journalist. In his student life, he participated as an activist in India's freedom struggle. He edited Rashtra Dharm, a Hindi monthly, Panchjanya, a Hindi weekly, and the dailies Sudesh and Veer Arjun. Shri Vajpayee did not marry and remained a bachelor in his entire life. Dear countrymen, Rashtra Swayam Sevak Sangh, RSS, is a good organization. The lakhs of workers of this organization serves the people and the common man selflessly throughout the nation. They are dedicated people who do not care for themselves but always devote their service to the needy. They have been doing services and attending to help for the cause of sufferings in our country. One can only understand when he himself see or know their works or services done throughout the country. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was deputed to work for the newly formed Bharatiya Jana Sangh in 1951, a right-wing political party associated with the RSS that espoused the cause of Hindus. He soon became a follower and aide of party leader Shama Prasad Ji Mukherjee. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was Shri Shama Prasad Mukherjee when he went on a fast unto death in Kashmir to protest against perceived inferior treatment of non-Kashmir Indian visitors to the state. Sri Shama Prasad Mukherjee died in the prison during this strike. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was elected to the Lok Sabha from Balrampur, UP. It is said that Prime Minister Shri Jawaharlal Nehru was so impressed on oratorial skills of Shri Atal ji that Shri Jawaharlal Nehru predicted that Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee would someday become India's Prime Minister. Due to his oratorial and organizational skills, Shri Vajpayee became the face of the Jana Sangh. The tragic death of Deen Dayal Upadhyay, the mantle of the leadership of Jana Sangh in 1968, the responsibility of the organization fell on the shoulders of Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He became the national president of the Jana Sangh, and with Shri Nanaji Deshmukh, Shri Balraj Madhok and Shri Lal Krishna Advani led the Jana Sangh to the national prominence. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was arrested with several other opposition leaders from 1975 to 1977 during the internal emergency imposed by then Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi of the Indian National Congress Party. Shri Vajpayee merged the Jana Sangh into the newly formed Grand Alliance, the Janata Party, on heeding the call of social reformer Shri Jayaprakash Narayan for all the opposition parties to unite against the Indian National Congress. The Janata Party was dissolved when Sri Morarji Desai resigned as Prime Minister in 1979. Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, along with his long-time friends Lal Krishna Advani and Bhairav Singh Shekhawat, joined hands with many of his Bharatiya Janasangh and RSS colleagues, formed the Janata Party BJP in 1980. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the first president of BJP. He emerged as a strong critic of the Congress I government. Bharatiya Janata Party was opposed to the Sikh militancy that was rising in the state of Punjab. BJP also blamed Prime Minister Indira Gandhi for her divisive and corrupt politics that fostered such militancy at the expense of national unity and integrity. BJP did not support Operation Blue Star and strongly protested against the violence towards Sikhs in Delhi that has broke out in 1984 following the assassination of Indira Gandhi by two of her Sikh bodyguards, Bend Singh and Satwant Singh. It is due to this the BJP was left with only 2 parliamentary seats in the 1984 general elections. Shri Atal ji remained as the president of BJP at centre stage and leader of the opposition in the parliament. Bharatiya Janata Party led the political voice of the Ram Janam Bhoomi Mandir movement, along with the activists of the VHP Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Rashtra Sevak Sangh RSS to build a temple dedicated to Lord Ram in Ayodhya. In March 1995, BJP won the assembly elections in Gujarat and Maharashtra and did a good performance in the elections to the Karnataka Assembly in December 1994. which propelled the image of BJP to a greater political prominence. When BJP conference took place in Mumbai in November 95 to take a stock of better performance, then President L.K. Advani declared that Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee would become the Prime Minister of India. The BJP won in the May 1996 parliamentary elections. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee served as the Prime Minister of India from 1996 to 2004, as already informed to you in three non-consecutive terms. The BJP grew in strength in the early 1995's riding on pro-nationalistic sentiments. In the general 1996 elections, the BJP emerged as the single largest party in the Lok Sabha. The then President Shankar Dayal Sharma invited Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee to form the government. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee sworn in as the 11th Prime Minister of India, but the BJP could not muster enough support from other parties to form the government. He had to resign after 13 days when it was clear for him that he could not garner a majority to continue as Prime Minister. United Front government fell 2 times between 1996 and 1998. Lok Sabha was dissolved and fresh elections were held. The 1998 general elections gave BJP a good number of seats, which put her ahead of others. This time, a cohesive bloc of political parties joined with the BJP to form the National Democratic Alliance (NDA), and Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was sworn in as the Prime Minister. The National Democratic Alliance had proved its majority on the floor of the Parliament. This government lasted for 13 months until mid-1999, when the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kadagam AIDMK withdrew its support to the government. The government lost the vote of confidence motion in the Lok Sabha by a single vote. The opposition party, excluding BJP, was unable to form a new government. Hence, the Lok Sabha was again dissolved and fresh elections were held. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee remained the Prime Minister until the elections were held. I have already told you that nuclear tests which were planned to be detonated in Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao tenure happened in Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure as Prime Minister. Hence, India conducted 5 underground nuclear tests in Pokhran district in Rajasthan, Pokhran desert in Rajasthan. This has happened a month after the government has taken over in power. It is after 2 weeks later the Pakistan had responded to the explosives over nuclear test, making Pakistan the newest declared nation with nuclear weapons. Russia and France endorsed India's right to defensive nuclear power. The United States, Canada, Japan, Britain, and the European Union imposed sanctions on information resources and technology to India. Intense international criticism and the steady decline in foreign investment and trade did not bring down the morale of Indian people. In spite this nuclear test boosted the sentiments domestically. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee began for a full-scale diplomatic peace process with Pakistan in the late 1998 and early 1999. A historic inauguration of the Delhi-Lahore bus service was started in the February 1999. This initiated a new peace process aimed towards permanently resolving the Kashmir dispute and other conflicts with Pakistan. The resultant Lahore Declaration aimed at a commitment to dialogue for expanding trade relations and mutual friendship and envisaged a goal of denuclearized South Asia. This was meant to ease the tension created by the 1998 nuclear test, not only within the two nations but also in South Asia and the rest of the world. I have already told that mid-1999, Anna DMK withdrew the support to Shri Vajpayee government, reducing the NDA government led by Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee to caretaker government. Even though some prominent and national leaders flew down from Delhi to Chennai to pacify Srimati Jayalalitha to rethink her decision, but did not succeed in the matter. Elections were scheduled for October 1999. Please note that militants and non-uniformed Pakistani soldiers had infiltrated into the Kashmir Valley and captured control of border hilltops, unmanned border posts, and spread out very fast. The incursion was centered around the town of Kargil and also included the Batalik, Akhnur sectors and artillery exchanges at the Siachen Glacier. Indian Army responded swiftly and were rushed into Kashmir Valley. Operation Vijay was launched in June 1999. Indian military fought thousands of militants and soldiers in the midst of heavy artillery shelling, extreme cold weather, snow and treacherous terrain at the high altitudes. It is said that over 500 soldiers were killed in the 3-month-long Kargil war. Around 600 to 4,000 Pakistani militants and soldiers died. India was able to push back Pakistani militants and Northern Light Infantry soldiers from almost 70% of the territory captured by Pakistan. It is said because of such a big loss in the war by Pakistan, Pakistan planned to launch a nuclear attack on India, but was prevented when US President summoned Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to the US and was warned to take such an action. Nawaz Sharif asked the remaining militants to stop and withdraw. The militants were not willing to accept orders from Mr. Nawaz Sharif while the NLI soldiers withdraw. Indian army killed the militants left, and leftover militants were forced to withdraw in skirmishes which went beyond the announcement of withdrawal by Pakistan. Kargil victory bolstered the image of Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee and was praised across the country for his bold and strong leadership. I remember that on 26 July 2012, Kargil Vijay Divas was celebrated. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee wax statue was unveiled by BJP President Shri Nitin Gadkari in Mumbai. The BJP-led NDA won 303 Parliament seats out of 543 seats in the Lok Sabha in the general elections of 1999, which happened after Kargil operations. NDA secured a comfortable and stable majority. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee took oath as Prime Minister of India on 13th October 1999 for a third time. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure, Indian Airlines flight IC 814 from Kathmandu to New Delhi was hijacked by 5 terrorists and was flown to Taliban ruled Afghanistan during December 1999. The hijackers made several demands, including the release of certain terrorists like Maulana Masood Azhar from prison, the extreme pressure from opposition party and public for the safe release of hostages. The government had caved in when Jaswant Singh, the then Prime Minister for External Affairs, flew with the terrorists to Afghanistan in exchange for the safe release of passengers. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's administration took so many domestic, economic and infrastructural reforms, including encouraging the private sector and foreign investments, reducing governmental waste. He encouraged research, development and privatization of some government-owned corporations. NDA government led by Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee has developed half the roads in his 5-year term, which had happened in the last 32 years. This is a big milestone achieved. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's National Highway Development Project and Pradhan Mantri's Gram Sadak Yojana were his pet projects. The outstanding historic event happened during March 2000 when Sri Bill Clinton, US President, paid a state visit to India in 22 years. President Bill Clinton's visit to India was hailed as a significant milestone in the relations between the two countries. This visit came barely 2 years after the Pokhran tests and 1 year along after the Kargil War and the subsequent coup in Pakistan. This was known as a major shift in the post-Cold War US foreign policy. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the US President discussed strategic issues. The major achievement was a significant expansion in trade and economic ties. The historic vision document on the future course of relations between the two countries was signed by Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee and President Mr. Bill Clinton during his visit. BJP-led government was under constant pressure from NDA allies because of the RSS and VHP connections and their stance of Hindutva agenda. Owing to its dependence on coalition support, it was impossible for the BJP to push items like the Ram Janam Bhoomi Mandir in Ayodhya and the repealing Article 370, which gave a special status to Kashmir, or enacting a uniform civil code applicable to adherents of all religions. The BJP was accused of saffronizing the official state education curriculum and the apparatus. Home Minister Shri Atal and Human Resource Development Minister Murli Manohar Joshi were inducted in the 1992 Babri Mosque demolition case for inciting a mob of activists. The RSS routinely criticized the government for free market policies which introduced foreign goods and competition at the expense of Swadeshi industries and products. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's administration earned the ear of many trade unions and government workers for its aggressive campaign to privatize government-owned corporations. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee promoted pro-business, free market reforms to reinvigorate India's economic transformation and expansion, which were started by the former Prime Minister Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, but were stalled after 1996 due to unstable governments and the 1997 Asian financial crisis, increased competitiveness, extra funding and support for the information technology sector and high-tech industries, improvement in infrastructure, deregulation of trade, investment and corporate laws, increased foreign investments, and set in motion an economic expansion. These couple of years of reforms, accompanied by infighting in the administration, was having confusion regarding the direction of government. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's weakening health was also a subject to public concern. He underwent a major knee replacement surgery at the Breach Candy Hospital in Mumbai to relieve great pressure on his legs. His government and the BJP as a whole faced a shameful time when BJP President Bangalore Lakshman, senior army officers and NDA members caught red-handed accepting bribes from journalists posing as agents and businessmen in March 2001. The Tehelka group released incriminating videos in this regard. The Defense Minister George Fernandes had to resign on the Barak missile deal. Scandal. Another scandal which exposed was the botched suppliers of coffins for the soldiers killed in the Kargil war. This type of scandals brings down the morale of our political system and the genuine type of politicians who prefer to enter into political arena for the purpose of serving the people and the nation. It was also found out that the government could have prevented the Kargil invasion. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee invited Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf to New Delhi to improve the Indo-Pak relations and to have a joint summit at Agra for peace talks. The Vajpayee's second attempt to move Beyond the stalemate involved inviting the Pakistan president who had planned the Kargil invasion, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee chose the diplomacy to move forward by accepting him as the president of Pakistan. But after 3 days of fanfare, which included Mr. Pervez Musharraf visiting his birthplace in New Delhi, the summit failed to achieve a breakthrough as President Pervez Musharraf declined to leave aside the issue of Kashmir. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee launched the famous Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which aimed at improving the quality of education in primary and secondary schools in 2001. The blackest day in the history of parliamentary democracy happened during Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee tenure, when a group of misled armed men with fake identity card stormed the Parliament building in Delhi on 13 December 2001. The terrorists managed to kill several security guards inside the building, but the building was swiftly sealed off by our security men and the terrorists were cornered and killed. It was known that they were the Pakistani nationals. This attack on our parliament was just 3 months after the September 11 attack upon the United States. This enraged our whole nation and people were worried about the safety concerns. The government of Pakistan officially condemned the attack, but intelligence reports pointed to a conspiracy rooted in Pakistan. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ordered a mobilization of India's military forces. 5 lakh servicemen amassed along the international boundary bordering Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Kashmir. Pakistan also did the same. VCS. Terrorist attacks and an aggressive anti-terrorist campaign began in the Kashmir Valley from day-to-day life. Foreigners flocked out of both India and Pakistan, fearing a possible war and nuclear exchange. The situation so remained for around 2 years, and both nations were possibly heading for a terrible war. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's administration passed the Prevention of Terrorist Act against vigorous opposition of non-NDA parties. Human rights groups have condemned the act, which gives wide authority to the government to crack down on the terrorists, and this can hold anybody. Its appeal was advocated by human rights organizations. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government came for the biggest political disaster between December 2001 and March 2002, when the VHP held the government hostage in a major standoff in Ayodhya over the Ram Mandir. At the 10th anniversary of the destruction of Babri Mosque, the VHP wanted to perform a Siladan, foundation stone, of the cherished temple at the disputed site. Thousands of VHP activists amassed and threatened to overrun the site and forcibly wanted to build the temple. A grave threat of not only spread of communal violence but an outright breakdown of law and order owing to the defiance of the government by a religious organization hung over the nation. But the government somehow was able to tide over the situation smoothly. Hindu-Muslim violence erupted in the state of Gujarat in 2002 when more than 1,000 people were killed, mostly Muslims. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee condemned the violence. It is said that Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee made controversial remarks. Wherever there are Muslims, they don't want to live in peace with others. Instead of living peacefully, they want to propagate their religion by creating terror in the minds of others. These remarks were seen as a justification of violence against Muslims. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was accused of not doing nothing to stop the violence, but he admitted that he was not able to stop the events. Sri K.R. Narayanan, the then President of India, blamed his government for failing to quell the violence. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee government pushed economic reforms in the late 2002 and 2003. The country's GDP growth accelerated at record levels, exceeding 6 to 7%. This has increased foreign investments, propelled public and industrial infrastructure investments, created more jobs. It had rose high-tech and information technology industries and made urban modernization and expansion, improved the India's international image, good crop harvests and strong industrial expansion boosted the economy. The government has taken the initiative to reform the tax system, increase the pace of reforms and pro-business. More major irrigation and housing schemes were increased. The political energies of the BJP shifted to the rising urban middle class and young people who were so positive and enthusiastic about the major economic expansion and future of the country. Due to these initiatives, he faced a stiff opposition from other equally strong originations with Sangh Parivar like a Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh and the Bharatiya Kisan Sangh. But these internal bickerings did not stop him to continue his aggressive economic reform policy. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee announced before the parliament about his absolute effort to achieve peace with Pakistan. He started a diplomatic process where high-level officials have taken visits between the two countries. The Pakistan president and Pakistani politicians, civil and religious leaders held this initiative. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee visited China in July 2003 and met with various Chinese leaders. He recognized Tibet as a part of China, which was welcomed by the Chinese leadership, who in the following year recognized Sikkim as a part of India. Sino-Indian relations improved greatly in the following years. Bharatiya Janata Party won 3 major state elections mainly on development issues in November and December 2003 without any ideological campaigns. BJP perceived that this is the ideological time to win election throughout the country. Due to Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's age, the falling health and diminished physical and mental vigor were obvious factors which people assumed that Shri L.K. Advani will lead the party. When the BJP prepared for general elections in 2004, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was still the choice of the BJP and the wider NDA for the Prime Minister's job. BJP recent success in the assembly elections in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and good feel-good factor made BJP leadership overconfident to capitalize. The same BJP hoped to capitalize on the slogan India Shining and thought meaningful positive outcome about the more economic growth of the nation. Due to this, the 13th Lok Sabha was dissolved and NDA was widely expecting to retain power after the 2004 general election. But the coalition lost almost half of its seats and several cabinet ministers being defeated. The Indian National Congress led by Srimati Sonia Gandhi became the single largest party with the support of minor parties formed the United Progressive Alliance. Left parties extended the conditional support from outside. The UPA formed a government under Dr. Manmohan Singh. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee resigned as Prime Minister and promised cooperation to the new government under Dr. Manmohan Singh. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee accepted his moral responsibility for the defeat and decided not to take up the position of the leader of the opposition and passed on the leadership to Shri Lal Krishna Advani. However, he retained his post as chairman of the NDA. Shri A.B. Vajpayee announced his retirement from active politics in December 2005 due to his failing health. He declared the same at the BJP Silver Jubilee rally at Mumbai's historic Shivaji Park. He had said earlier that he would not contest in the next general election. He had told that Shri L.K. Advani and Shri Pramod Mahajan will see the party affairs afterwards. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had said that Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee is as the Bhishma Pitama of Indian politics during his speech in the Rajya Sabha. It is known that Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was hospitalized at AIIMS for chest reinfection and fever on 6 February 2009. He was put on ventilator support for worsening condition, but he reciprocated to the treatment and was discharged. He could not participate in the general elections 2009 due to his poor health and wrote a letter urging voters to back BJP. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was called Babji by his close friends and relatives. He has an adopted daughter, Namita. He is fond of Indian music and dance. He loves nature. His health has been a major matter of concern. He is confined to a wheelchair and fails to recognize people. He rarely ventures out of his house except for checkups at the AIMs, etc. He has visited several countries to know them and interact between them. I pray to the God that he must regain his power of recognition of the people and guide us as a father to us. I request you to spell the following godly words with me. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji. Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Shri Venkateshwaraya Namah. Om Shri Venkateshwaraya Namah. Om Shri Venkateshwaraya Namah. Om Shri Venkateshwaraya Namah.